Hello, hello, hello. I apologize right now that my brother is playing video games in the background, so you might hear some Call of Duty action. So please forgive me because I shouldn't even really. Anyways, so this is the app that I made for Blackjack. So I they're just shooting. All right. So the Blackjack app right here. So I created these classes and I didn't really fully utilize them. I kind of ran out of time, but I condensed these, and I wrote I think too much code inside the main. But I'll just go ahead and run the app real quick to see what it does. So I already went ahead and we'll stop this. We'll go and yes, this is IntelliJ for just show for purposes, just easier for me to display. But I do submit this in Eclipse for my skill distillery program. So here it asks automatically what my name is. So I could say, yeah, my name is Jeff. And so I was like, oh, nice to meet you, Jeff. Are you ready to play? And so, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna type some whatever. Oh, sorry, you have entered an invalid option. I'm gonna put some numbers here just to no, no, it's not allowing me. Okay, so we could automatically go to no just to make sure that it works. And it was nice to meet you, Jeff. Have a wonderful day. So that's if I don't want to play, but we want to play. So let's go ahead and run this again. So go ahead and play. So my name is Jeff. And so, are you ready to play? Okay, this time I am ready. So I'll put yes. All right, Jeff. And so here, what I did is I created some cards and I grabbed all of the Unicodes. I know it did take a little bit of work, and I think I spent a little bit too much time on this, but I just wanted to make it look so pretty. So here I made the Unicode. I think you can see that now that it is like 9 and 3. And so what I added was I did the addition here, and then with the dealer, what I did was I pretty much got the back of the card and got the 10. And so we don't know what the question mark is, and plus 10, so he might have a good hand. Well, I have a 12 as well. So you know what? And it asks me, you know what do you want to do, Jeff? You know what? I'm gonna go and hit. And then, all right, the dealer is at 20, so this is the dealer 1. Um, would you like to play again? And I think this is where I was hit 15, and then I think this ended the whole program. Uh, it should have asked me to actually hit again. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I think I ran out of time on that one. But you know what? Let's play again. Let's see how that goes. All right, so I got an 11, and then again, this goes ahead and checks my card. So 5 and 6 is 11. And the dealer got a black card and a 4. And Jeff, would you like to hit? You know what? Sure. I think I need to get a 10 in there. And then it says, sorry, dealer, you lost. Your number is 22 is over 21. Jeff wins because the dealer. So then what I did on this when the second time around is I exposed the dealer's cards. I'm not sure if this is how blackjack play. I looked up the rules as much as I could. So this was the first card, as we can see here. We did not see it, but what I did was I added the cards together. I think hold on. There you go. So it was this one, 10, 4. As you can see here, it displayed 10, 4, and 8. So he automatically lost, and I got 17. And let's play again. I'm feeling a little lucky. Okay. So I got a king and I got a 16, and we just don't know what he had here. Oh, I'm feeling a little risky, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit. Oh, sorry, Jeff, you lost. Your number is 24, and then I automatically just display the numbers here. Uh, to see what the end result was. Let's one more time and see how it goes. And again, king and queen. Okay, awesome. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and stay. And what it does is it stays, and the dealer keeps going. He hit 17, so congratulations, Jeff. You won. And it says 17, and then 20, and then I'll go ahead and press no. And it was nice to meet you, Jeff. Have a wonderful day. Oh, so let's go ahead and go through the first code. So my first logic of thinking was creating the card. And I think I spent a little bit too much time because I was trying to use a map on how to combine the card. And I used the card, and then I combined the enums. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So I created this based on the symbol of the cards, as you saw here on our example, creating these bad boys. but also wanted to make a unique identifier number for each and every single one of them, since every key has to be different. And so I know I could have easily just used a card, but I also wanted to show the sign too, so it could be easily displayed. And it's kind of tough to see whether it's a king or a queen, so I had to put a Q and a K, and it actually helped me identify them when I used the contains. So when we created the deck, and I'll show you when we see the deck. So here I created enums. Hopefully I'm saying that right. And I pretty much just overrid them, and then over here the rank. And then when I created the cards, I just kept it very simple. Created the cards. It wasn't even here where I created the deck because we wanted to really just use this card to really create a deck for every single type of game out there. So, and we had to be very specific for the blackjack game. And so when I was just trying to create a blackjack game here. So I'll go ahead and open all of these, and I'll go ahead one at a time. So this one just built a constructor, and then this one is to create a deck. And so when I created the deck, it was pretty much just creating it from scratch. So it was if each suit to string equals such and such. It's pretty much just grabbing each, I think, the suits. I was assigning the hearts. And so let's look at the assign hearts. It was pretty much going through each case, and then I created the card, the unique ID number. So it was the suit plus the card Unicode, and then an A. And I put -1 because it's going to be just randomized. It's going to be just a plain deck of cards with with different rules for different types of games. And I put that, so I placed the real value for the 2 through 9 or through 2 through 10, but then I put -1s on each and single one of the aces and the jacks, queens, and kings. Because I know that in blackjack, these are automatically turned into kings, or tens, excuse me, and and then the ace is either a 1 or 11, and I put a condition based on for the computer to see if it's less than, I believe, if less than a 9 or equal to 9, then to add the 11. But if it's more than, then just add a 1, or else he'll go over and he will not win blackjack. I think it was less than, it would have to be less than 11 because he could add 10 plus 11 to blackjack. So hopefully I put that condition correctly. And then so pretty much just created these, and it's pretty much the same setup for each and every single one. So there's assign hearts, assign clubs, and it's just the same exact thing, -1 based on the card value or the card Unicode that created this. So every single one of these were uniquely created with love and patience. So um, so I'll go ahead and minimize that. That was my thinking. It was pretty much a for loop, pretty much just creating over here a map of the deck of cards. So here's just creating a deck of cards, and then displaying the deck of cards for your convenience, because I know for the person who wants to see if the cards are working, I use this display deck. If anyone just wanted to print it out or not. And then I also went ahead and put it inside display backup card, which is what I use for the computer simulator for the first hand, because we had to have one hand down and one hand up for the dealer. And then here is the map imager. So here I'll show you for the yep, just a simple print of the back of the card. And here's just just a getter of the deck of cards, the map, and then just a getter for the deck keys here, just card keys. And I think this is just the keys for every one of the, I put it into a string so then I could easily just uh, use it as one, what did I use this for? So I created this list so then I could take out um, one of the elements inside this list, and also to remove, because this is just keys and I know every key is unique, and I had to account for each key that's inside the map. And so what I did was I put in all the keys inside a string list or an array list, and then every time we pulled that out, we displayed it, and then I also removed it from that list, and I also removed it from the hash map. or from the map. Yeah, hash map. And so that's what my thinking was. So then we could easily just account for all the cards, and we're removing them as we go. And I think that's pretty much it for the deck. So this was pretty much just a deck, just creating a deck, and you could use this deck for any game. So I was supposed to create it for any game. And so for the player, it's just simple things like setting the name, asking the name, get name, and getting the total for the player. So yeah, and this is just to close the scanner. 'Cause I created a scanner when um, when I was asking for the name, players cards displayed, and this is when we want to display the cards that they have on their deck that they have pulled. And so when the dealer gives them the card, here is where this person is actually taking account for the list of cards that he's going to have in his hand. And then I think the hand here, I think I was very generic. I don't think I used them all. Again, I was trying to do my best in um, making sure that I turned it in on time. But I think is um, the blackjack hand is where a lot of stuff is. This is just simple, just getting a name, turn it into a string. Um, and again, this was also the deck that the dealer had. And so, he gets a deck, and then I was also accounting for the cards he had on his hand. And that's what gave me the ability to actually display um, the end result. Like over here, as you can see, it shows you the, the the person's hand, so it tells you all that stuff. And I was just uh, or I was just keeping track of that inside an array list of each player. And then the blackjack hand is where I had most of the stuff. I think it might be a little convoluted, but I did my best to make sure that I know that this could have been reduced. So I think I did a little bit too much because I was trying to keep track of the dealer, and I was also trying to keep track of the player because I know they're two different people, and yeah, but I know they had a lot of similarities, and I could have easily just made it into a player and then dealer player, but I did my best. So I pretty much created the classes here, and I used a random in order for us to create a random ordered list or random drawing the card every single time. And then so what we did with here was let's see, blackjack hand. It was just a deck create deck. So this is pretty much every time we called a new blackjack hand, it created the deck from the deck here. And I was using this one here, and that's pretty much creating a deck from scratch all the way here. And then change card values. So change card values, I believe, is going to be in this one. Change card values. Oh, that's because over here, um, I had to put the 10 inside. So if each card contains a J or a Q or a king, we're going to replace that card with a 10. And that was specifically for this game, Blackjack. And so that's where the Blackjack rules came into play. And then so that's where I changed the value here. And so that's why, so as we saw back here in deck, we had -10 for every single one of them for the jack. So I said, if if it has a J or it has a Q or it has a king, you know what? Let's instead of having -1, now we're gonna put the um, where is it? Not there. Somewhere up. Somewhere I know it's here somewhere. Change. Oh, there we go. Change card value. That's where we put that. All right. And there's my brother playing. So let's see. So this will be hit. And so what would you like to do? And this is where it asks me, hey, what do you want to do? And so this is where I say, you know what? If one, since it's gonna be a string, if it equals one, then true, and that's when I return a true. And then if it's two, and if you have entered an invalid choice, that's why I did a while loop. So then if it says, hey, you know what, you picked an incorrect choice, let's go ahead and you have to choose one of these options, 1 or 2, and it goes back into player move keyboard next line. And so it just reduces or makes the person choose the right option. And I use a string because if it was an integer, then I would have to do a try exception, and just in case they put in a string. So, and then is blackjack. So this is where it tests whether it's blackjack or not. And so if, and this is where I put a total for the dealer or the player, and it just displays whether they're the winner. So I had to put in and dealer because if so the player was able to get a blackjack, but then the dealer has the ability to get a blackjack too. So I had to test the condition, and if the dealer does get a blackjack, then that's pretty much a tie. Or I think based on the rule, I think it was you have an insurance. I don't know what that means, so I just kept it very simple. Else, if the player gets a 21, then he would win. Or else, if the dealer got 21, then he would win. And so, and then it looks like I didn't use this one is blackjack, but is a bust. I did. So if the total is greater than 21, then that's when they will return to true. So I would put in the integer total, the string name, and then the string opponent, and I would test this integer total. So that's the total of the person, the string name, and the string opponent. So the string opponent just to say, hey, you know what, the opponent wins, right? Because you're the one that busted, or the dealer's the one that busted. And so I just wanted to put to say, hey, sorry, string name, you lost your number total was, and it's over 21. Opponent wins. All right, and then I changed card values. We already mentioned that. I changed it to 10. This is where it shuffles the deck, and so here's where I use the random next int card keys size based on the size of the deck. It just randomizes and then gets a value here, and then so it gets a value from the card deck in its next integer, and it just pulls out the key, and then it just returns the key, and then we get that key and grab it from the deck and pull that card and give it to the player or the dealer. Hopefully that made sense. And so over here I said the dealer to deal card to dealer, and so this is just specifically for dealer, and it's because if if he draws an ace, we had to make sure that we had to put the condition. So change ace value for dealer. And so we went ahead and changed ace value for dealer. So here's what is the condition. So it should have been, if it's greater or less than 2, um, if it's equal to 10, because he could add 10 plus 11, then he would get a 21. Else, it would be a 1. And so that would be the condition here, and that was my mistake there. But that I had to put that condition here. That's why I had to I rushed a little bit on creating this, but I definitely could have definitely simplified it here. And then I dealt the card for dealer, and then if he was to draw an ace, then we would use that conditional statement where whether it's going to be less than or equal to 10, then we could use the ace as a 11 value, and then he would get 21. And then here, if it's not, let's see, and then this was pretty much just goes, getting the card. This is where we remove it. So this would go get dealer card displayed. So here's where we would display the card, and then we will also print out the card, and then we would actually remove the card, and then we would add into the value, the total here. So we could start adding together the total. And then I think it would, let me see here, the change ace value card, blah, 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 blah. Add key, here we go. So here's where I keep track of how many the types of cards that they had. So get dealer's card display. So this is where we would display all of the dealer's cards, his hand pretty much, and we would add the key in there. And the key would be pretty much a key plus a space. And this was the same thing with the player. So for this one, deal card to player, uh, pretty much the same thing, except for it gave me the option to change ace value. And for the change ace value, it's different for the player because he has the option Change each value. Here you go. He actually has the option. Would you like it to be a 1 or 11? And you know what? Let's run that. Um, so we could see that in action. And so Jeff, yes, we're ready to play. Okay, I have 11. He has I don't know what he has. Let's see. So sorry dealer, you lost. The dealer got 24. Yes, let's play. Let's play until we get an ace. Okay. Okay. I guess I'm not getting an ace today. Okay. Okay, there you go. So I drew an ace. Would you like to make it a 1 or 11? And so we see here, oh, so this is just me starting out. So I would definitely like to make it 11. And so Jeff is 21. So here I would get a 21. So I also made it a, a first hand, which I will show you in a bit. But yeah, Blackjack, Jeff, you are the winner because I got an ace and a queen. And then it shows you the total because he never even drew his cards back at 21. So we'll go here to see the blackjack here, which we were already in there. Um, so I had to separate them based on the first draw. So deal first card, and that was for the dealer because we also had to show the back of the card for him. And so card keys removed, so we automatically just remove the key without displaying anything. But then we'll also have to display the card value. So it would be over here, shuffle over here, display back card, and then I will also system out print line and then the key, which is the key that he would. Then this would only be the first card that the first hand that he would do, because again, the in the game, the first handout or first hands are totally different from the rest of the game, because I think from what I've understood is you get one card and then you get the other. If you hit, then you get another individually. But in the first hand, you get two cards, and for the dealer, he gets one facing down, one facing up, while the player gets two facing up, and we're able to see his cards. So this one has one facing down and then one facing up. And so that's pretty much the dealer part. And then for the deal first card, that will be for the player. And again, it'll go through and it will remove. It'll do the ace. If it's an ace, you get to choose whether it's an 11 or a 1. In this case, we saw that. And then we also made sure that if he was to draw a 21 in the first hand, then he would automatically win based on the rules. Again, we also saw change ace value, and this was the player, and then change ace value for the dealer, and that's when he automatically checks to see whether it's less than or equal to 10. If not, then if it is, then you'll add 11. If not, then you'll add 1. And then this one's display back card, and that's for the dealer only, just to make sure that we're doing that we are actually playing the game correctly. And then get hand value, and this is just pretty much just getting the value, I believe, for the hand, like the total of what they have, and then get player, and then just information this player from these guys. Show dealer cards pooled. So this is where we see all the cards that he has displayed. So then we can display his cards, and I think that's pretty much it for that one. Whew. And then I think I wrote a lot of stuff here. I think a little bit too much, especially here, where I could have definitely condensed it a lot. And this is where I really got stuck because I really was trying to get the condition correctly, where it was less than 17, but then it was just not functioning the way I wanted to. Um, and um, but that's pretty much it. It just pretty much goes through the first hand, and the way I alternated the player was pretty much going from the count. So count equals 0, and I had to make sure that it was outside the while loop, or else it would just keep saying 0 0, and it would just be an infinite loop. I think it would be because it would just be 0 0 0 forever. So the first one was pretty much going to see if we'll check in the player. So if it would be actually been a little bit else. So we're here, The exit will be there. Else, we'll extend that. Yeah, I think I wrote way too much here. But so the count is 0. So the first player would be the first person to actually go first. And so if he draws a 21, this is where we check to see if he draws a 21 and blackjack deal first 2 cards, and then I would check to see if it's 21 inside the blackjack hand, which is over here. Deal first 2 cards, and again, ace change value. It will remove it. It'll add the total, and then it'll get the second card. It'll add the value, and then it would check to see. Um, Remove. We'll go here. 0, and then I think it automatically checks when it goes up here, because when it changes the player, we want to make sure. So if it equals 1, then if the count is 1, then we would check to see if it's oh my goodness, where did it go? Count 0, get player, get name. It'll deal the first 2 cards. System out blackjack dot get player, and so it will display my name, and then it will check to see if it's a winner. So blackjack is blackjack, and if it's blackjack, let's go ahead and reduce all of this here just to simplify it. Is blackjack. Go here. So is blackjack would do this. So this blackjack will check these conditions. And we saw that in the first one is the blackjack player dot get name. You are the winner. As we saw it here. Blackjack, Jeff, you are the winner. And then it'll show me the value here. And so it just goes through that every single time, and it does count. But again, the for 0, the first one, and the 1 are totally different because I have to call them individual based on the first hand. And so if it's so again, if the player gets a hand of 20 equals 21, I have to check to see if that's 21, and then it goes through the whole thing, through the whole loop, to make sure everything's done correctly. And then after it's, again 17, if it's less than 17, it's going to hit. If it's not, then it won't hit. And then that's pretty much it for my code. Hopefully this long explanation would clarify things. And then I pretty much exited the whole thing. So I created a static method here just to exit, and then ready to play was pretty much just without getting everything started to see if he wants to play or not. Made the static, and then also gave you guys this here. So if you guys wanted to see if this was working or not, so display deck. So if we run this, we'll stop running this right now. So we'll go ahead and we'll run this, Jeff. And then, nice to meet you. Would you like to play? Yeah, let's play. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I got 16. You know what? I might stay. All right. So the dealer won. So, oh man. Okay. So I'm done playing. I'm gonna leave. And so, let's see. It was nice to meet you. Actually, I think I was supposed to not display the deck. It will display the deck. I don't know why I didn't display the deck. Maybe test whether the deck is recreated. Should have been displayed here. Did it display all of them? Did it? Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. Never mind. I lied. I don't know why I didn't do that. I trained it to do that. Maybe tested it a while ago. Okay. Let's double check this to see if it's actually working. Let's see. This will display the rest of the deck once your card is okay. Should have done that. Display deck. Let me double check that. Display card display. Display deck. Okay. So blackjack hand dot display deck. Let's see what's going on here. Display deck. Okay. And the same exact thing. I don't know why. So let's look at display deck. See what's going on here. deck, display deck. Okay, so that's returning it. So let's go ahead and print it out. Interesting. Okay. Docket. Let me pause this real quick and let me see what's going on. Where is this video recorder? Okay, there it is. All right. Okay, I figured out the problem. And that's because when it asks me to, would you like to play again? Over here, it actually exits the game if it's no. So what we have to do here is we have to put this deck here, copy it over here to test it to see if we're actually taking out the value. So if it's no, then let's have it printed out. And this is just to test it. Um, so we'll go ahead and just go ahead and name, yes. I want stay on this one. And so you and the dealer have a tie because we both have a sign. And then you know what, let's put no. And here is where we check all the cards. So here, boom, here we have all the cards displayed. It tells us which card was which. And again, it's going to be -1 is because we haven't changed the value based on the player yet, or based on the condition. So, and then over here to test to see if we actually have the correct cards. And actually, I'm going to reduce all this to it won't look so hideously ugly. I know, should have shortened it up. And so we'll go look at this main, and over here we'll actually print out the deck. We'll go ahead and print it out to make sure that we're actually getting whole 52 cards. Alright, here are 52 cards, all beautifully and randomly displayed, which is great. And then again, Jeff, blah, are you ready to play? Yes, let's play. Okay, I have an 8. Oh, I'm definitely going to be hitting. Alright, dealer, you lost. You got a 22. Jeff wins, and I have 11. He has a 22. Would you like to play? No more. Now I'm out of here. And then it tells you here the rest of the cards that are inside the deck. Hopefully that is a clear explanation. Sorry for the little hiccups here. Oh man, that's a 32-minute explanation. Sorry guys. So, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I know it could have definitely been much better. But it was definitely a lot of fun. I think the toughest thing for the beginning was really creating the deck and creating the cards, especially the way I was trying to make it out and looking all pretty. And sometimes I get a little caught up with details, and instead of just making it work. I mean, it was a great learning lesson though. Learning enums and then also implementing everything else together, and then trying to produce this thing where it has to be pretty abstract or pretty much standard, and then you have to simplify or make uh, you have to customize it based on the game and the rules. And then after that, you have to also display it correctly and make sure that they are being done correctly, especially when you're thinking logically. And I think the toughest part was getting it logically correct. Like you're going through the steps, and it's like, oh, it's not producing what I wanted to see. Um, but that's pretty much the. It was very frustrating, but then also I knew that I was also learning a lot of stuff there too. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it simplifies the way I was thinking through this whole code. I know it could have been simplified even much more. Um, but it was definitely enjoyable and definitely fun to make.